You're right, that theme song is way too short. I'll add more next time. Hi to fans, you're listening to James and Stu for some reason, providing Stu actually talks this time. How's your week been, Stu? Been through this, you can't just shrug. You're the one who can actually speak properly. Are you pouting again? Fine, one of us has to be the professional, you bitch. So today we're talking opening theme songs and sequences, and unlike last week, there are a ton of great examples. For this topic, I thought we'd start off with kids' shows, because this is probably going to be the only time they come up. I didn't watch much TV as a kid, and the theme songs are basically the only thing I remember about them. Hell, I got the DuckTales and Darkwing theme stuck in my head all the time. I've never even seen those shows. This happened before It's a Duck Blur came out, so I guess it's osmosis or something. Cartoon themes are always so catchy. Like there's very few opening sequences that I'll fast forward, but I'm sure I actually sang along to stuff like Kim Possible and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Transformers. I doubt anyone outside Australia picked up the Ship to Shore theme I squeezed into last week's intro, but I never bothered watching the actual show, and I don't know what it's about. But I'd always watch the intro because it came out after the show I actually watched, and then I'd just change channels after that. But it's like very hummable, that theme. Anyway, it's like I found myself whistling the Alex Mack theme the other day. Now that's an objectively bad opening sequence, because it's just Alex saying, "This is my sister, this is my friend, this is how I got my magic powers," like every week. And all that you can pretty much pick up from context in each episode. It's more condescending than how like the Flyer-verse shows starts. Like, we gotta do it fast, your name's Barry. There could be like 30 more seconds of fun stuff in the actual episode. Or, you know, even an actual theme song. Anyway, in the background of the Alex Mack theme, there's this, it's like an advertising jingle, I guess. It's like a few keys repeated over and over. It just gets stuck in your head. It's hard to explain, really. Do you want to whistle it for us, Stu? Not doing a whistle. Plan on opening your mouth at all? Or... Okay. Those last few weren't cartoons, so this isn't a great segue, but The Simpsons is one of the all-time greats. It's catchy, it squeezes in a ton of jokes, and so many of the side characters. Rapid fast. You really get to see the wackiness that is Springfield. I'll throw an episode on Best Fictional Towns, but that would have to be up there. What's your favourite couch gag? Great answer. I can't go past the one where it goes for the entirety of the universe and come out of Homer's head. But there's so many that are up there. I guess if we're doing the same rules as last time, we can only bring up one thing about a show per week. I guess I can't go through all couch gags that I love, because people that don't watch The Simpsons probably shouldn't listen to this podcast, to be honest, but they don't want to bore them to death. What else we go? Oh, yep. Other adult cartoons always have great theme songs as well, like Futurama's isn't quite as good as Simpsons, but I love that theme. Rick and Morty, Archer. I don't know what it is about them, but they're just catchy, I guess. Archer's still my alarm. It used to be my ringtone. Now it's a theme for Guardians of the Galaxy. But I remember like buying a Simpsons ringtone in high school from a magazine. I'd keep getting all these terrible tunes every week, and my credit kept getting deducted. It's just like such a scam. They weren't even like good. They weren't even TV themes. There was no actual theme to it. I guess just be like random. It's like someone just got popped down the piano and just popped along to it. Popped along. Yeah. I like the BoJack theme. But the closing credits are where the actual theme song is, and that's what I love, obviously. That's another one of those, you start a theme, if anyone says back in the 90s, the theme song just starts playing with something in my head. So we're harsh on sitcom pilots last week, but on the flip side, they have fantastic theme songs. My favourite will probably always be The Fresh Prince, because, come on, that's a freaking banger. Boom, boom, boom. That 70 shows a sing along for me. I've outgrown Friends, but damn, I don't still clap along at the appropriate parts. I'll go one further actually. I don't like Big Bang Theory at all, but the BNL song is the best part about it. It's just great. Anyone who skips the Game of Thrones intro is a heretic and should be treated as such. It's probably the most epic theme of all time. I think my favourite opening sequence is still Dexter, just because it's clever and funny, and the music gels well with it. But if you were to say Game of Thrones is objectively better, I'm not going to argue with you. Are you going to say that, Stu? Such a bitch. What do you think is the most famous theme song? I don't know why I keep asking questions before I answer them. Anyway, I'm going to have to go with Batman 66. A lot of people have never even seen the show, like even a second of it, know the correct response to no 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 no. It's Lita. I mean Batman. I put a lot of classic themes in last week's intro, and actually cut it down from 4 minutes if you can believe that. But 2 minutes turned out to be a little too long as well. But they're iconic. I mean, Mission Impossible is better known from movies. The movies are definitely better than the show. But that's where the theme originated, and it's perfect. The A-Team's theme is so iconic that Hamish and Andy used as the opener for like a decade. Gilligan's Island I find hilarious because they sing all the characters except for the two, and they just refer to the Professor and Marianne as and the rest. I'm sure that was a joke, but I'm pretty sure the actors were pissed because it got changed in later seasons. Speaking of the past, the Stranger Things theme is amazing. All the Netflix shows have a skip intro option, and if they want us to use that, they should have made shittier themes, you know. Jessica Jones has this cool noir feeling to it, and the graphics for all Marvel stuff on there just get you pumped for some action, you know. And the action usually pays off. I think the best themes do just get you pumped up for what you're about to watch. 12 Monkeys always does that for me. You can always hear the time travel in the chords. That's probably all the clocks. Shark introduced me to Cake with that great intro, and I still want to go with Uninterrupted Prosperity, who uses the machete to cut through red tape. Scrubs cuts like a great song down to a snappy few seconds, and that's actually I probably should stop just listing shows that have known songs, because I do appreciate the ones that make songs specifically for the show more, like, you know, a series of unfortunate events or Psych, which just lets you know the comedy is about to ensue. Orphan Black's theme has that mixture of mysteriousness and creepy undertones, and the only thing that could make the opening sequence better is if they just kept putting Tatiana Maslany's name as a credit, but I guess the comedic elements of the show are a lot less in your face than that. Okay, this is going to be a divisive one, but Teen Wolf's theme is the absolute best part of that show. We're talking about action pumping themes. That's probably the prime example. Quick side note on Teen Wolf, actually. I stumbled upon the pilot just when I was channel surfing when it first aired in Australia, and I just assumed they were playing the movie because I just saw the name Teen Wolf up there. I'm like, oh cool, I haven't seen this for a while. And I just didn't know what. I started watching, like, oh, it's a remake. It's like, oh, it's a terrible remake. They're playing lacrosse? What is this? And I guess I didn't know it was a pilot, or I figured it out eventually. But as I was saying last week, pilots are not indicative of what the show is going to be, and it ended up being a lot better because I sort of swore off the show and just like, this is dumb, I'll never come back to it. But I stumbled upon another episode, season 3 or 4, it must have been 3, and it was one of the Arkham Asylum episodes, and I was like, wow, this has actually got a cool aesthetic to it, and I ended up going back and watching the whole series actually. And I'm getting to that episode where Stiles walks into the petrol with Scott, and I'm like, wow, I actually care about these characters. I wasn't expecting that at all. I was like, oh, and yeah, and that syncs up in that show. It's not a great show by any means. If you don't want to watch it, don't. But I'd recommend YouTubing the theme song for it, because that's brilliant. Speaking of Teenage Monster Hunters, Buffy has a great sort of grunge theme to it. The 90s theme probably of all of them. But that was another great sort of action sort of theme song. Changing gears completely, we've got Weeds, which is one of those theme songs I use in everyday life all the time whenever I drive past a block of buildings that were similar, or go through a village where all the boxes are all the same. Or had probably more often in movies when like the camera would zoom past like a street, I guess, with similar buildings or similar houses. And I'm like, yeah, little boxes on the hillside. Or probably was the person next to me, even though they don't know what I'm talking about. I kind of miss that from later seasons because I really liked how they'd just get a different band in every week to change up the theme. It's kind of, pretty neat. And what else? Oh, that's right, literally every other show ever. Why are we starting such vague topics? We can do something that doesn't apply to every show next time, so we can actually have a discussion instead of just listing shows. Let's do famous cars or something. Anime. Should have been in the cartoon section, although maybe it's best it isn't, considering how anal anime fans are about the difference between two types of drawings. I don't watch a lot of anime. It's not that I hate it, it's just not one of the genres that leap out at me, like comedies or fantasies. Cowboy Bebop is my favourite anime, and has a great theme. I think it's the one I put in the infamous intro last week. The best anime theme, though, is that Attack on Titan one from Season 1. It was so awesome. And another action one, actually. And I just about stopped watching the show completely when they replaced it with interchangeable pop songs instead, and they absolutely sucked the life out of the show. And considering how little interest I have in the show now, I'm starting to think the other reason I watched was so wrapped up to begin with is because that theme got me hyped up big time. Had no idea what they were yelling, but I yelled right back along with them. Dragon Ball Z again, a dumb theme from a show that was pretty dumb, but it's catchy, and that's all a theme song should be. I can't think of the Steins Gate or Death Note themes off the top of my head, but it's all the anime I can remember watching, so yell at me in the comments, nerds. That's right, we're spending our lives talking about television theme songs, and you're the nerds, and you're already there. Jeez, there's so many shows to choose from. I'm glad we have 0 listeners. We'll be bombarded with, why didn't you mention The Sopranos comments this week? Why didn't we mention The Sopranos? That's a good one. Let me just look through the bookcase real quick to see if any jump out as must mentions. That one's good, that one's good. Oh, Cheers. That should have come with a sitcom mention. Cheers is simple. Tells you how depressing all these characters are that are hanging out at the bar. Is the high point of their lives and why it's okay to laugh at them. I kind of like the Cheers song. It's one of those ones that epitomises the show as well. I do want to go Everyone Knows My Name. No, I don't. I hate people. Community. Had an anecdote for this. He made a community reference earlier. I blame you for this, Stu. For the longest time, I had a running joke with a mate. Whenever one of us made a zinger, instead of doing the rim shot, we go, give me a hand, show me the door. It was quickly shortened to just because we knew we were going with it. I guess it wasn't a great anecdote, but it's a sentence anyway. Okay, these things would be longer if my co-host would bounce things off me. Ow! Bounce words off me, but that was very quick. And we could disagree with each other and have a conversation. But I can't just hear me go on and on, so I can't imagine how you guys are feeling. It's time for our running segment. Tell us a show and we'll give you our thoughts on it. Time. Stu, hit the jingle. You didn't make one, did you? Alright, well, nobody sent a request yet, so we're going to do the tried and true method of, give me that. Okay, you're going to throw this ball at the bookcase, and whatever DVD cover it hits, we'll discuss. Hey, that was loud. I think it hit Fringe. F again, huh? Well, F you. I really like Fringe. I should say Walter Bishop is one of my favourite characters of all time. I am a sucker for mad scientists. Like a lot of shows, the first season is meh, but once it stops being an X-Files ripoff and gets like the alternate universes and timelines, I'm all in. I know a lot of people are down on the last season, but I like it a lot more than first. But 2 and 3 are just riveting television. I don't know, I love the idea of like a guy born in one universe but raised in another. They're trying to do that, I think, with that new J. Jonah Jameson show, which is alright, I guess. What's it called? Yeah, so it's obviously not very memorable. Any thoughts on Fringe, Stu? Shocker. I remembered a few other great parts we didn't mention last week. Speaking of J.K. Simmons, Oz, and something else I've forgotten again. Those were never my favourite shows, so I guess that didn't spring to mind in such a broad topic. Wait until narrators, not talk Oz. Oh, and Castle, I also liked that pilot. That was back when they were doing really inventive death scenes every week, and plus the actual episode itself was a great introduction. Probably watched the show because of Nathan Fillion, but I ended up staying with the show because of it was fun. It's funny. Yeah. Oh wait, Pushing Daisies I loved, and that pilot really got me hooked in terms of like the style and the humour of the show. But we can't go into detail because that was last week's topic, and that's now Pushing Daisies, as it were. Probably edit that joke out. Well, if you want to hear more, if any, from Stu, you can listen to his podcast Supernatural Contestues, where he pictures how the Winchester brothers would fight fair against various characters, monsters, and figures from history. If we've got an absolute classic of a theme song, and it was in last week's intro, because if it was, chances are we love it, please contact us in the comment section or at spoileranert@gmail.com. If you have a show you want to hear our opinion on, or have a response for next week's topic, which will be, iconic vehicles, also just go to those places. Well, believe it or not, that's the end of the pod. So, yabba dabba doo!
Would you want to grow up here? I have to. I'm Alex Mack. I was just another average kid until my first day of junior high. One minute I'm walking home, the next there's a crash and I'm drenched in some weird chemical. And since then, nothing's been the same. My best friend Ray thinks it's cool. And my sister Annie thinks I'm a science project. I can't let anyone else find out. Not even my parents. I know the chemical plant wants to find me and turn me into some experiment. But you know something? I guess I'm not so average anymore.